In the town of Madison stood an old restaurant. The walls of this building were steeped in history, and the atmosphere was imbued with the smell of antiquity and mystery. It was known for its exquisite dishes, but lately visitors had been disappearing. This story began on the day when Emily and her friends decided to celebrate the end of the school year. The evening started off fun, with friends laughing and enjoying a delicious dinner. But as the evening progressed, Emily noticed something strange about the behavior of the waiters. They were quiet, nervous, as if something was bothering them. Later, when Emily went to the bathroom, she heard a whisper. Catching a glimpse in the mirror, she noticed a shadow passing by the door. She dismissed it as her imagination and returned to the table. After the dishes were eaten and it was time to leave, the friends noticed that one of their group, Dan, was missing. They asked the waiters, but they only shook their heads, claiming they hadn't seen him. Worry engulfed Emily and her friends. They began searching for him throughout the restaurant. As they searched the premises, Emily heard the whisper again. "He's here," a voice whispered, but when she looked around, no one was there. Panic seized her. They began opening doors, and in one of the rooms they found Dan. He lay on the floor, pale and unconscious. The frightened friends carried him outside and called for an ambulance. On the way to the hospital, Dan began to come to. He recounted how something had pulled him into a dark room and he had lost consciousness. Emily and her friends were in shock. What could it have been? And why were the waiters behaving so strangely? Several days later, Emily decided to return to the restaurant to figure out what had happened. She delved into the history of the restaurant and discovered that it had been built on the site of an old cemetery. She found an old newspaper article about several missing people who were the last seen alive in that area. They were later found murdered and buried in the restaurant's basement. Emily realized that the restaurant was not just a place for dinner, it was something much more sinister. She thought of Dan and what could have happened to him if they hadn't returned in time. She decided she had to warn others. She began to tell the story of the restaurant, its dark past, and the strange events, but no one believed her. Soon after, Emily disappeared without a trace. No one knew what happened to her, and her disappearance remained a mystery. Visitors continued to come to the restaurant, unaware of the sinister secret hidden within its walls.